Will the clerk please call the roll?
Calling the roll for the Monday, February 12th, 2024 Board of Control meeting. It is 11:02 a.m. We have Councilmember Meredith Turner,
Present.
Councilmember Dale Miller,
Present.
Trevor Meckler serving as an alternate for Purnell Jones Jr.,
Here.
Bill English serving as an alternate for Mike Dever,
Here.
Michael Chambers serving as an alternate for Chris Ronay County Executive and Fiscal and as Chairman,
Here.
Paul Porter.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, next on our agenda is the review and approval of the minutes from February 5th. I will make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The minutes are approved. Any public comment?
No public comment.
Let's go to our first item.
First item, BC 2024-96, Department of Public Works submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to Software Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $5,861.10 for renewal of Donor Perfect online subscription software and support to be used by the county animal shelter for the period February 10, 2024 through February 9, 2025. Submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption and amending to change the funding source to general fund.
Good morning, everyone. Tom Pavich, Public Works. This is a renewal of the software that's utilized by the county animal shelter. This manages all the donations, fundraising initiatives, and tracks all of those donations through their software. It's a renewal of the existing software with the same vendor for the same software. It's a one-year subscription. The software itself is on the county IT standards list.
Thank you, Tom. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor to say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item?
Next item, BC 2024-97, Department of Public Works submitting an amendment to a contract with Union Industrial Contractors Incorporated for rehabilitation of Cedar Point Bridge number 00.49 over the Rocky River located in the Cleveland Metropolitan Park District in the city of North Olmsted for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $208,161.43.
Nicole English with Public Works. This is the third amendment to the construction contract of this bridge project, which, as most people are aware, have had some problems. As we've gone, we had to do a redesign once we started construction on the bridge due to the deterioration of the beams. And so this is another increase, mostly related to extended work. And every time the river gets to a certain level and floods out the causeway, we have to pay the contractor to repair the causeway so that they can then set in the river and construct the bridge from there. So that's what most of these costs are related to. And we did provide some answers to questions that were asked earlier about schedule and what's remaining on the project. And it is anticipated to be completed this year, but towards the end of the year.
Thank you, Ms. English. Are there any questions from the board?
Just a comment as the person who represents this area that to say that it's had a few problems would be an understatement. I've received numerous complaints and inquiries asking why this is taking so long and why it seems to go for weeks on end with no work being done and just to be sitting there in a half-done state. And so I just put
Agreed.
that out there to make you aware of what I'm hearing.
We do get several questions too, and we've been working with the Metro Parks and the cities, and it does look like that at times, but at the point where we pulled off and needed to sort of redesign, it was in a state that you could not reopen it, and so it was sitting for a while looking like, nothing is being done while the design was getting done and approved. So understood, it's definitely a headache for all of us.
Okay, thank you. Seeing no further questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2024-98, Department of Public Works submitting an amendment to a master contract with various providers for purchase of various materials and supplies on an as-needed basis for road and bridge-related maintenance and repairs, including special projects for use by the Road and Bridge Division for the period March 14, 2023 through March 13, 2025, to change the terms applicable only to the 6 new providers being added, effective last date of signature of the parties, and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $400,000 as listed for items A through K on the printed agenda.
Good morning, everyone. Tom Pavich, Public Works. This is a contract amendment to the master contract that we have with our Road and Bridge Division. Public Works, we've got a total of 4 master contracts, 1 sanitary, 1 facilities, 1 fleet, and this one's for Road and Bridge. The original contract dates back to last March. We did a formal procurement process, an RFQ. We qualified 5 vendors. As with the other master contracts, we realized we had some gaps in commodities. So we released a secondary formal RFQ where we scored 9 proposals. We're awarding these 6 additional vendors. And based on those 6 vendors, that's why we're increasing the amount of the master contract by $400,000.
Thank you, Mr. Pavich. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2024-99, Department of Public Works submitting an amendment to a contract with MRI Software LLC for the purchase of Pro Lease real estate lease management software maintenance and training services for the period November 1st, 2020 through October 31st, 2023, to extend the time period to October 31st, 2024, to change the terms effective November 1st, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $9,978.52.
Good morning, everyone. Tom Pavich again, Public Works. This is an amendment to our contract with MRI software. It's for the ProLease software. That software is utilized to manage all the county's real estate and leases and tracking mechanisms. We're extending the contract 1 additional year and adding funds for that 1 year.
Thank you, Tom. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Seeing none, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item's approved.
Thank
Next
you.
item.
Next, item BC 2024-100, Department of Public Works recommending an award on RQ 13204 and submitting a contract with Lakeland Electric Incorporated in the amount of $124,235 for replacement of streetlights in the Cuyahoga County Airport.
Good morning, Matt Reimer with the Department of Public Works. This was a formal RFB. It was our second bid attempt in 2023 to repair and replace 20 light poles on Curtis Wright Parkway out at the county airport. These are light poles that are both at the Bishop Road intersection and at the Richmond Road intersection. This was under our engineer's estimate for this bid, and recommend approval.
Thank you, Mr. Reimer. Are there any questions from the board on this item?
So, what kind of lighting are we using? Is it more energy efficient than what we're replacing?
Through the chair to the councilman, yes, these will be LED fixtures.
Any final comments? Seeing none, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
Next, item BC 2024-101 is being held at the request of the department.
Okay, next item.
Next, item BC 2024-102, Medical Examiner's Office submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to Cerilliant Corporation in the amount not to exceed $8,213.22 for the purchase of various drugs and chemicals for analytical and research and development applications for the toxicology lab, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Hugh Shannon, Medical Examiner's Office. These are various chemicals and drug standards that are used in the toxicology lab.
Okay, Hugh, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved.
Thank you.
Next item.
Next, item BC 2024-103, Department of Human Resources submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to Health and Fitness Equipment Centers in the amount not to exceed $47,607.34 for the purchase and installation of various wellness equipment to be used by staff at the county administrative headquarters, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Alita Moonen from Human Resources. This purchase is an exemption resulting in a purchase order which was planned for the basement. It's being worked on by a combined effort with HR, Public Works, and GEIS, and was included in the 2024 budget.
Okay, thank you. Are there questions from the board? Councilman?
Yes. When do we expect the equipment to be installed and operational?
There are two components, two parts to the project. One is the purchase of the equipment, and then there is the build-out, which GEIS and Public Works are working on. Once the build-out is complete, and it is well underway, then we will be able to install the equipment.
And what's our estimated timeline on these things?
The final estimate for the plans, GEIS, it kind of depends on GEIS. They're coming up with the final plans. There was a bit of a delay given sort of some problems with moving the stuff that was already there and securing them and maintaining privacy. That seems to have been resolved, and I've been assured by Public Works that we will have the final estimate on Friday, and then work will commence. So I can't actually give you a date, but we're trying to get it done within like the spring. but I can't give a final date.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any additional comments on this item? Seeing none, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Paul Porter. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Thank you.
Next item, BC 2024-104, Department of Information Technology, recommending an award and enter into a purchase order with Ohio State University DBA Ornet in the amount not to exceed $66,697.58 for upgrades, support, and maintenance on VMware software subscriptions for various start and end dates between February 13, 2024 through February 12, 2025.
Good morning, Dennis Sullivan, Department of IT, has Cheryl read in. This VM software you've seen before, it's a government-to-government purchase order. It's via the agreement between OSU and the state, and we have to buy through Ornet per the agreement. It's an IT standard. We get it at a substantial discount. This is production software, support software, and it's used on over 350 servers.
Thank you, Dennis. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Seeing none, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2024-105, Department of Information Technology, on behalf of the Court of Common Pleas Juvenile Court Division, submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to M&J Technologies Direct Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $6,357 for a state contract purchase of 3 Microsoft Surface Pro 9 tablets, each to include a keyboard, case, and stylus pen, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning again, Dennis Sullivan, Department of IT, on behalf of Juvenile Court. This is an IT standard, these Surface Pros, and as read, they are being bought under state term schedule.
Thank you, Dennis. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2024-106, Department of Information Technology, submitting various amendments for software licenses, maintenance, and support for the Enterprise Resource Planning software for the period October 27, 2016 through October 26, 2026, to modify the scope of services and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $261,338.52 as listed for items A and B on the printed agenda.
Good morning again, Dennis Sullivan, Department of IT. This is 2 approvals. The Part A is known as Amendment Number 4. Part B is known as Amendment Number 5. Amendment Number 4, first off, Number 1 is a true-up for licensing for 2 years. It's a look back to 1/1/23 for the actual balance of the licenses needed, and there were advanced questions, and they were all addressed in quantity. And then Part B is the 5th Amendment for the Workforce Management upgrade. And those questions were also answered. With us today is Bob Knoll. If there's any deeper questions about Infor in general, that's the guy.
Thank you,
Okay.
Dennis. Councilman, please.
So, my question is whether this upgrade was a routine and planned thing, or whether there were problems that surfaced with WFM that required these changes.
Yeah, so Bob Knoll, Department of IT. The upgrade itself was planned. The ask for the $60,000 is to handle some customizations that were put into the system when we originally implemented. So this is working with Infor Professional Services to ensure that the requirements are met in the new version, which should allow us to upgrade easily and hopefully without cost to the county.
And how well is WFM working so far?
So far, so good. Knock on wood, it's a pay week for everybody here as well. But the data flows over into the financial system without any issues. We have, I believe it's 40-plus time clocks that are used as well by employees. And we're actively looking at other ways to have, the applications and things like that work better for our employees.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any additional questions?
Yes.
Please.
The question, is this system being used over at the juvenile courthouse?
So we have a plan for WFM specifically. So we have been in conversations with juvenile court to implement the workforce management system there. The upgrade will need to take place first. for us to allow us to start to bring those employees onto that system directly. Right now, they follow a different payroll process, but the plan is, yes, to start to bring them into play. Correct. Yes.
Okay, seeing no further questions, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2024-107, Department of Information Technology submitting an RFP exemption which will result in award recommendation to Strategic Government Solutions Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $18,400 for identity as a service provided by Auth0 for the period February 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, and submitting a contract with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Dennis Sullivan again with Department of IT. Auth0 is a software platform for security purposes. It's an authentication layer for any cyber attacks or any attacks or intrusions at all. This is going to the end of the year, and it is being bid out in 2025 again.
Thank you, Dennis. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Next item, BC 2024-108, County Prosecutor submitting an RFP exemption which will result in a payment to Todd Jordan Consultant LLC, DBA Jordan Detection K9, in the amount not to exceed $15,000 for the purchase of one multi-purpose electronic storage detection K9 and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
It doesn't look like there's a representative from the prosecutor's office here today, so I'll take this one. Paul Porter, Department of Purchasing. This is for a new K9 for the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, or ICAC. Their current electronic storage detection K9 has aged out and is ready to retire. I think, she's participated in hundreds of different raids, and these are dogs that are specially trained to sniff out like USB drives, detachable hard drives, cell phones, computers that may be hidden in houses where there's suspected, digital malfeasance, let's put it that way. So this will be a new dog that's going to go with the same handler, and the retiring dog is going to retire with that handler.
Correct. And the dog does not stay in the building. It goes home every night.
It goes home.
I asked that already. Thank you, Mr. Porter. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Nicole English. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2024-109, Sheriff's Department recommending award and enter into a purchase order with Geauga County Sheriff's Department in the amount not to exceed $450,000 for outsourcing prisoners' board and care services to reduce the daily population in the Geauga County Jail for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024.
Good morning, Chris Costin, Sheriff's Department. This is our annual PO that we're estimating that we will need to house our inmates at Geauga County.
Thank you, Chris. Are there any questions from the board? Councilman, please.
Do we think this contract will go away when the new jail is up and running, or do we think we would continue to use this program?
I cannot answer that. Chief Soltis maybe will answer that for us.
Chief Soltis, through the board president. I'm hoping with Nicole and our planning and programming and design that the use of outside facilities will no longer be a thing that we'll need to come to you again for.
Did you say your hope is that we would no longer need this program?
That is correct.
Okay.
With proper design, that we're looking at all that when we design.
So, Mr. Lilly puts out a report every week on how many prisoners are housed at the county jail.
Mm-hmm.
Are the prisoners housed at Geauga County included in that number, or only the ones at the main detention center?
Not he sends out several reports, and the reports that, is it similar to this one, Councilman, that he sends directly to you?
No, it's a report that, it's a report by judge, and it lists each of the judges and how many cases they have, and then it has a bottom line total.
No, I believe that's separated from the total number count.
So, am I taking that as a no, that you don't
Yes,
think it
that's
is?
correct.
It doesn't?
And I'll
include-
double check on that and get back to you
Okay,
directly.
fine.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Are there any additional questions? Seeing no further questions, I will.
Just
Oh,
one comment.
apologize.
I mean, just on the difference between what we pay Geauga County and what we're paid to house inmates and the ongoing issue that we've been trying to renegotiate with the city of Cleveland for the contract to house their inmates. So hopefully we can get that resolved soon and move forward, particularly as we start planning for a new jail.
Okay, thank you. See no further comments, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2024-110, Sheriff's Department submitting an exemption which will result in award recommendation to Protect Sales and the amount not to exceed $10,676 for the purchase of one ballistic shield and various surveillance equipment and accessories for use by the Northeast Ohio Human Trafficking Task Force and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Chris Costin. This is a request to purchase ballistic shields and various equipment for our Human Trafficking Task Force team.
Okay, Chris, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2024-111, Sheriff's Department submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to XL K9 Services Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $47,200 for the purchase of 4 imported narcotic detection police service dogs and related training services for the period February 15, 2024 through February 14, 2025, and submitting a contract with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Chris Costin again. Yeah, this is the purchase of 4 canines for our jail operations that will be put in service this year.
Thank you, Chris. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Mr. Meckler.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Chris, just to confirm from the advanced questions, so are we saying that there doesn't need to be any changes to either a CBA or the HR policy because of this? Or we have not made that determination yet?
I'm going to defer to Chief Soltis to answer that.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Appreciate that.
Through the chair to Mr. Trevor, sir, as of right now, we have 3 canines in our housing. I mean, at the jail, there's no change into the CBA. It does not affect the CBA or the human resources.
And Chief, have we run that past the law department? Because I think they might believe there might be a change required.
Again, I will check into that through the
Okay.
chair to you and make sure that's accurate information. Okay.
And then this says that council only provided 4 additional dogs as part of the budget increase. That was per Aaron Reese as the chief deputy, part of the budget, and that's just not accurate. Council members agreed to give more than the 4, so I'm not sure where those numbers are coming from.
Okay, so at the end of the budget cycle last year, they approved 4 in the general fund. Right now, we're looking into additional funding through our discretionary funds. We're just trying to figure out through the law department which funding source we could pay for these dogs. So there will be 8 eventually.
How many do we have now?
I believe 2 in the jail and then the 4 that we're purchasing right here. For a total of 10.
Wait, so if we have 2 and we're purchasing 4, how do we get a total of 10?
Additional 4. The 4 right now is the use of through general fund, and then we're looking to purchase 4 through our discretionary funds.
Okay. I thought council provided more than 4.
That I'm not
I think
aware
it was
of.
just 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris, I'll confirm. I'll shoot you an email. Thank you.
Copy me, yeah. All right, thank you.
All right.
Any further questions on this item? Seeing none, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. McLeller. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item B,
Mr. Chair, can I ask a follow-up question to
Yes,
Chris
hold
on
on.
that?
Chris, Chief, hold tight.
Do you know when the purchase of the additional vehicles that were also provided for this will be coming forward?
Right now, that is going through the Department of Public Works. I believe they are going out to bid right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
No, you're fine, thank you. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Next item BC 2024-112, Department of Public Safety and Justice Services, on behalf of the Medical Examiner's Office, recommending an award and enter into a purchase order with Metler Toledo LLC in the amount not to exceed $48,669 for sole source purchase of one LabX balance service software solution, various LabX licenses, maintenance, and support for the drug chemistry lab.
Good morning, Mary Beth Vaughn for the Medical Examiner's Office. This software is designed to work exclusively with equipment that is already owned by the Medical Examiner's Office. It'll actually save them time in their processing and reduce contamination of evidence. Even though it is sole source, we were able to get a discount from the vendor of $3,894. And it is being paid for with ARPA grant funds from the state.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
Next item BC 2024-113, Department of Health and Human Services, Cuyahoga Job and Family Services, submitting an RFP exemption which will result in award recommendation to Biometric Information Management in the amount not to exceed $7,000 for a state contract purchase of one mobile fingerprinting unit, related accessories, system configuration and training, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Ramon Caldas, Health and Human Services for Cuyahoga Job and Family Service. This is a mobile fingerprinting unit intended to replace an old machine that no longer holds a charge and has become obsolete. It'll be used by JFS for the Child Licensing Department to vet and clear providers for agency reimbursement. It'll also be used by HR for hiring events, and child support staff will also use it to become notaries. Procurement for this was done through state contract, and this is an IT standard item.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Nicole English. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, exemption BC 2024-114, Department of Public Works requesting an alternative procurement process which will result in award recommendations to a maximum of 3 county eligible vendors and the total amount not to exceed $1,500,000 for on-call sanitary pump station repair and construction services on a task order basis for a period of 3 years.
Nicole English with Public Works. We have done a similar process for our on-call heavy construction contract, and it's worked very well over the last 2 years. These are kind of emergency items that come up that would be over a mission critical but need to be taken care of quickly. And so what we do is via an RFP, we put out, we qualify up to 3 vendors that would be on a master contract, and then as tasks come up, we mini bid those, so they actually bid against each other on the tasks that come up. So the difference here is this is going to be focused solely on pump station repair. Over the last couple years, we've taken on other cities that have a significant amount of pump stations, and we just do not have the internal capability to service these to that level. And so these would really focus on contractors that can work on pump stations, which is a pretty specialized niche here. So once we put the RFP out, the contract will come back to council since it's anticipated to be $1.5 billion. This is just the alternative procurement at this time.
Thank you, Ms. English. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Turner. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Moving on.
Consent agenda items are BC 2024-115 through BC 2024-119.
Just a handful of items here, board members. Feel free to ask any questions on any of them. Okay, seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve today's consent agenda items as listed. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The items are approved. Moving on.
Okay, other business, the vote on BC 2024-96, we amended the funding source as general fund. However, I don't believe we voted on it as amended.
You are 100% correct. Thank you. I will go back to that item, 2024-96, and I will make a recommendation to approve as amended, changing the funding source from kennel operating funds to general fund. Is there a seconded by Councilwoman Turner? All in favor to approve as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The item is approved as amended. Any other business?
The other business is the Board of Control meeting will be held on Tuesday, February 20th, in observance of President's Day on Monday.
Very good. Thank you. Okay.
And there's no additional business?
No other business. Great. Any public comment?
No public comment?
I will make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Nicole English. All in favor to adjourn, say aye.